Yeah, so whenever they're setting uh, the visa bulletin for the first one, especially that October is the first visa bulletin for the new fiscal year. The Department of State, especially for the first visa bulletin, has to make reasonable estimates of the available employment-based visa numbers in each category. And then it will collaborate, the DOS collaborates with USCIS and reviews, how much pending inventory is there of adjustment of status cases and how many immigrant visa I-140s have been filed. And then they make a reasonable estimate of new applications that are likely to be filed in that particular month. And then, so then based on that, then they will compare it to the available visa numbers. So it's basically a balancing act between the availability and the demand. So when obviously the demand is higher than the availability, then retrogression has to happen because they have to cut off or stop people from filing new visas because they already have enough pending petitions to meet the requirement for the available visas, right? So that's why they come up with this retrogression or a particular date where they think that the people from this date, if they file, then we'll have enough, green cards for the year. Otherwise, they cannot have the green cards oversubscribed. They cannot have more people filing than green cards available. So they always tend to be a little cautious. It's an estimate, as you can see from my explanation. It's an estimation of how many will file and versus, how many I-140s have been filed. But when they look into this, they do take into account whether that a certain percentage of applications won't be approved. They account for people who have multiple pending applications in different categories. So you could have a family-based petition, you could have an employment-based petition. So they know that from that only one visa number will be used, not both employment-based and family-based. They also consider how quickly the pending applications will be processed. So if they think that that particular application, the processing time is over 1 year, then they don't have to worry about putting that into the number for green card availability for this year. So they look at that also because those pending applications don't need an immediate visa number. Also, they'll take into account if pending multiple petitions were filed within the EB category. So the person, we know with the downgrades and upgrades, people have an I-140 in EB2, in EB3, so they take into account that as well. So taking all this into account, when the amount of demand for a particular category exceeds the supply of visa numbers available, then the country is considered oversubscribed. And then the DOS supplies a cutoff date in the final action date chart to ensure that the visa use remains within the annual limits. That's how it works.